because of what's written in the Torah. When you finish a book of Torah, what do you say? Chazak, chazak, v'nit chazek. Chazak has to do with strength, and it's repeating the root of chazak 3 times. Let us have strength, let us have strength, let us bring that strength. And I share that with you because this last week I was in Philadelphia at the Central Conference of American Rabbis Conference. Central Conference of American Rabbis Convention? Something like that. Don't go to Torah Cam yet. Or actually, as long as they see me on Zoom, I'm good. So you can leave Torah Cam up. Okay. While I was at this conference, we actually, on Monday was Rosh Chodesh of Adar Bet. So we have now started our new month, and it's Monday, and so Monday is a Torah reading day. So even though we did not have Shabbat together, we did have the opportunity to read Torah together. And something extraordinary happened as we were reading Torah. Each time, usually you only say chazak, chazak, v'nit chazek when you get to the end of the book. But everybody, of course, can you imagine a room with 500 rabbis? Even I can't imagine a room with 500 rabbis. It was quite extraordinary. Even though we hadn't gotten to the end of Exodus yet, with each reading there was a reason, a sense that the group that was coming forward needed to say chazak, chazak, v'nit chazek. And by that I mean the first group that came forward were the rabbis from Aram, that is from the Israeli Progressive Movement. So these are my rabbinic colleagues who are Reformed rabbis in the land of Israel. If any group is in need of strength, sustenance, and courage, it's the rabbis who are supporting all of their congregations and their communities in Israel. And so there they were standing, and they delivered, and you'll hear me talk more about them, various incredible messages about not just the pain, not just the fear, not just the uncertainty, but the way that people in Israel rose up to take care of each other, how communities came together to support each other, how they just did something extraordinary in the face of truly walking through the valley of the shadow of death, and continue to do so. And so there they were as they were sharing their messages that morning and beyond, as they came forward to do an aliyah. They came up to do an aliyah, and there as we were hearing their blessings for the state of Israel, for the people of Israel, it was a powerful moment when they looked at us and we looked at them, and we said, chazak, chazak, v'nit chazek. I give you some strength, I take some of your strength, we create that strength together. The second group that came forward were the Vatikim and Vatikot. Every year at the convention, they celebrate the rabbis who have been ordained for 50 years. And so it was extraordinary 2 years ago in San Diego, they honored the rabbis. One of the 50-year rabbis was my father, which was pretty amazing. I think he figured out how to make it there on Zoom. And this year, and with my father, it was also Sally Priesand. No, I guess my dad was a couple of years before that. In 22, who was ordained in 1972? Sally Priesand. I wasn't even born yet. In 1972, who was Sally Priesand? First female rabbi was ordained by the Reform movement in 1972. So here we are with a group from 1974, and it included Sandy Sasso and her husband. They were the first rabbinic couple, where both partners in their marriage were both rabbis the first time in history. And one of the things that we were saying was not only the women who 50 years ago were becoming rabbis, and think about what they had to face and continue to face with sexism that is very much in our world. And they then continue to say, and that generation standing forward with that strength and that courage and saying, we want to be rabbis. And then there was the discussion and realization that there are folks who are LGBTQ, the folks who are Jews of color. There are so many other groups that are coming forward to become rabbis in our world and in our community, facing that kind of discrimination, that kind of alienation, all of those things that prevent them as they come forward to be leaders of communities, that they get people who undermine them and their ability to teach and care for community. Chazak, chazak, vanit chazek. They came forward to give strength to the world. We, as their community, can give strength to them, and we, working together with groups that have been on the margins in so many ways, had an opportunity to feel the strength of our connections together. And that the last group was rabbis who work not in congregations. These were chaplains, and these were rabbis that work in universities. And you might have heard it's really hard to be Jewish on campus in a lot of places in our country right now. And here they were. And you have to remember, 500 rabbis, and there were 5 to 10 rabbis who were not congregational rabbis that stood up. Think about how that feels when everybody else goes in one particular direction and has one particular journey and vision of what the job is supposed to be, and yet they found a different community, a different way of taking care of people. It was yet another moment of chazak, chazak, vanit chazek. They have come forward to communities that are not served by congregations to give them strength. Here we are, is our community in a congregation. How do we reach out to those communities and the rabbis who serve them to give them strength, and all of us together take care of the fabric of the community of Israel? Chazak, chazak, vanit chazek. And so tonight, as I read these words of Torah, I hope you will hear, because what we're going to hear is the construction of the tabernacle, of the tent of meeting. It all comes together, kind of like the Big Bang Theory. It all just together. It's a rather extraordinary moment in our place. We will read about God being a cloud by day and a fire by night, guiding the people of Israel so they are able to get to that place that is high and holy. And then we are going to finish with chazak, chazak, vanit chazek. Earlier this week, I was saying those words to honor my colleagues that are in Israel, my colleagues who were ordained 50 years ago and how they blazed a trail for so many others, and my colleagues who do not serve congregations and yet do amazing things to lift up the people of Israel. That was our prayer on Monday. My question, my challenge, my thought to all of you and us is chazak, chazak, vanit chazek. As we say these words, what is the strength we are giving to the world? What is the strength that we need someone to share with us? And how can we, as we work together, create a strength that is greater than the sum of our parts? And so here we are for this last section of the book of Exodus from Parshat Pikudei.